We are now just about ready to go into creating the web scraper, where we're actually going to have a loop going through the web page and going through specific web pages, collecting the title, availability, item number, and price. I believe those were the items we said we were going to collect. Let me just check it out. Item number, item price, availability, and item title. But before I do that, I just wanted to explain that whatever web page you're going to be looking at to scrape data from, you always want to look at the web page very carefully to see what is the best way to go about collecting data from the site. Like in this case, this specific website, I know all of the item numbers for the website, so if there's a way that I can just navigate to the item by the item number, I'm going to do that. That's going to be a much easier way to go. So when I look at this site though, and let's say I look at this item right here, I see that the URL is product.asp, so it's an ASP.NET website running on the .NET framework. I can see that they're using queryString. Whenever you have the parameters inside the URL, such as pfid is equal to d1119, I'm looking at the bottom left of the screen. That's a queryString parameter that the website uses to load the web page. And if I also move my mouse over to the right to the next item, I'll see that the queryString changes to the item number, so pfid is equal to d1320. And then we have the next item 13920 and so on. And that's really just for the image. If I was to put my mouse over the product title, I'm just going to go on and select it. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to copy the URL. So that way we can see it on a full screen. Let me close this out and open up my notepad. So here I can see that it's the website / product.asp, and it has a department ID and a PF ID, the product ID. And what we can do is just modify the department ID. I guarantee you more than likely the website allows the department ID to be null, so I'm just going to delete that up to the ampersand, and that way we have PF ID and then of course the item number 14633. So if I was to search for that, it takes me to the same web page, with the exception of it no longer has the directory, the department that it belongs in. So if I hit the back button, we see that it's in the lanterns category, but once we go to the URL that doesn't have the department ID, it takes off the department name. So that's no big deal, because we'll still be able to get the availability, the item number, the title, and the price. That's not going to be an issue. So I think the best way to go about creating this specific web scraper, since I have the item numbers already, is I will go to the URL, I'll navigate myself to the URL, and I'll just fill in the query string, the 14633. So let me show you how to do that very easily. That way we can put this together. So I'm going to create a command button. And I'm going to use code from our previous video. And I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to create a function with this. So better yet, I'm going to go to my program module, and I'm going to just go to the very top, and I'm going to put function go to item by item number. This is the name that I'm creating. And so we'll use the URL that we just provided. But what we're going to need to do is modify the product ID. So here we should ask the user to give us the product number. So I'm going to put product number as string. And we'll just put at the very beginning, if product number is equal to nothing, then just exit function. And here on the URL, we're just going to put equals, and then we're going to put the ampersand and the product number. And then what we can do is just put, at the very beginning of the function, I was going to put got item by number is equal to nothing, and we'll just put page has loaded. And what we can do is just call this function from the command button. But what we're going to do is, I'll put a message box, go to item by item number, and then here's where we're going to put in the item number. We'll just do the same item number, 14633. And if we play this and run the code, just let it load, we get a message box that says page has loaded. And all that did is it loaded up to page 14633 for this item. So if I was to close this out, I'm going to close the original window that we created. But before I do that, let me just get a product number. I'll put in another product number, so let me just get this one right here. I'll put T1017. So I'm going to close that out, and in command button 4, we'll do message box go to item by item number, and then it's going to be T1017. Play this out so we can try it. And so it loads the page, and then in Microsoft Excel it tells us page has loaded. So the reason why I did this is to show you how on this web page I feel one of the best ways to approach this is to go by the item number, use the query string. That way we don't have to capture all of the URLs, because now that you've seen this tutorial, you know that you can look at the HTML source code. You can parse the data by using the instr and the MID function. However, doing that, it would be a very cumbersome task to capture all of the URLs that are in the store directory and then create a macro to where you have all of the links lined up. So because this web page, the way it's built and designed, I think it's a much easier route just to use the query string, so you can go to each item by item number and collect the data. In the next video, now that we have this already set up, I'm going to be showing how to use this function to return the values, the availability, the item, the title, and the price.